Hello friends, welcome back to another video. If you're new and not subscribed, I'm Kayla Bame, and you should really think about subscribing to my channel because the bestest things in the world happen when you do that. So, subscribe. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a product review. Now, I don't know about you guys, but every single time I go into any craft store ever, even Walmart, which doesn't even count as a craft store, I have to check out the paint section or the pencils, like the little art sections that they have with the graphite pencils and the notepads and the sketch pads and the paints, watercolors, acrylics. I have to check it out every time, even though I have way too much paint. I was at Michael's, I was checking out the paints, and something caught my eye, and it was the DECOART glow-in-the-dark paint. So I was gonna do a black and white silhouette painting thing anyway on the black canvas boards, but then I saw this glow-in-the-dark paint and I was like, that would look so cool if the silhouette was glow-in-the-dark. But I've never used glow-in-the-dark paint before, so this is my first time using it. So this is going to be a product review for DECOART'S glow-in-the-dark paint. Let's do it. Okay, party people, for this glow-in-the-dark paint review, I am going to be using these black canvas panels by Essentials that I got from Walmart in the size 12 by 16. And since this is going to be a silhouette, my paint colors are very simple. Black, white, and of course, the ultimate glow-in-the-dark by DECOART that we are going to be testing out today. So this silhouette, I chose to do a silhouette of Juzo from Tokyo Ghoul. I know it's a big surprise, it's an anime painting, wow. And if you guys didn't know, fun fact about me, Juzo is probably one of my favorite, if not my actual favorite anime character ever. I have so many drawings and paintings of him. He's just a really fun character to draw and paint, okay? Anyway, before I actually start glow-in-the-dark painting, I need something to paint the glow-in-the-dark paint on. So I'm going to be using this reference picture that you can see in the corner of the screen that I have on my phone of Juzo. It's a silhouette, so it's just black and white. And this is the process that I usually go through with everything. When I paint, I sketch it out in white with a small paintbrush in the white paint, and then if it's in color, I go over it in color, but in this case, since it's black and white, I'm just sketching it out with the white paint and going from there. And once again, like I did with the playing card, I am freehanding, I guess is what this is called. I'm just using the reference picture and trying my best to freehand and copy it. If you've never done like a copy by freehanding a picture before, I don't really know what my advice to you is. I guess what I tell my sister, because my sister always tries to do it, just do very light strokes if you're drawing, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You can always go back, like see, especially when you're painting, like if you look at my lines right now, none of it is clean at all. But I think that's why painting's a little bit easier than drawing for me, because paint, your lines could be super messy like this, and if you mess up, you're erasing with more paint. You just cover it up with paint. It's a little bit harder to erase with graphite, but if you're sketching, just take it nice and slow, nice easy strokes, take your time, it's not a race. This is a motivational speech now. Slow and steady wins the race, people. That's my advice, okay? I'm so professional, I know. And once I had my little rough sketch of him, as you can see, I messed up in some places and then just painted right over it. Look, isn't that so great? Anyway, once I had him sketched out, I was now doing the silhouette part, I guess, and just blocking in all the highlights with white. And the reason why I chose to do a little silhouette for the glow-in-the-dark paint is because I was doing some research on it, and typically if you're using glow-in-the-dark paint, it does better laying on top of lighter colors like white than it would laying on top of a darker color like black. Because the glow-in-the-dark paint that I had was supposed to be used on top of another paint, and my research said to use lighter paint colors because it would help the glow shine through more, I guess, with white being in back of it instead of a dark color like black. I don't know, that's just what I read. And as you can see, my painting skills, I'm still not doing like a crisp, clean job because I am using Craftsmart paint, and if you use Craftsmart or Apple Barrel paint, one coat is almost never enough. When you're using a cheaper paint like Craftsmart and Apple Barrel, you're gonna have to do like 2 or 3 coats, especially with what I'm doing here. I'm painting on a black background. Now if you paint on a black background, it's already gonna be a little bit difficult getting full coverage on your first go, but with this Craftsmart paint, I want to say it took me like 4 or 5 coats to finally get it to look purely white. So first time around, I wasn't really too concerned about keeping my lines clean, especially because I knew I was going to go back with black paint and clean it up later. And would you look at that, it looks super splotchy right now, but that's okay, this was like coat 1 or 2. Anyway, I remember originally when I was doing this, I was a bit concerned that the black paint wasn't going to match the black canvas board. And I know that sounds kind of stupid, but when I was looking at it wet, I was like, oh, this is like a jet black. And the canvas board didn't really look like jet black. I don't know if it matters when it comes to using the color black, but I was a little bit concerned about this when I was doing it. Can someone tell me? There is different shades of black, right? Because there's jet black, and then there's Mars black, and then there's also like an ivory black. So not all black is the same, right? Is this correct? Someone tell me if this is correct. And at this point, with a project like this, I didn't film all of it because if I did, we would be here all night. But with a project like this where it's just black and white and it's a silhouette, basically what I was doing for about an hour was cleaning up the lines with white, cleaning up the lines with black, going back over the white, then cleaning up the lines with black, and then if I went too far in with the black, going back with the white and cleaning it up with a white. So I was just going back and forth with white and black, white and black, white and black, cleaning up the lines where I needed to clean up the lines, and then putting as much coats as I could to make it look nicer. But with a silhouette like this, I don't know if there's a technique to do it, but my technique was go in with the white, fix with the black, fix with the white, what I couldn't fix with the black. It was just a lot of back and forth, okay? I also waited to do more of his features, I guess, towards the end of the project. The only real features that you can see in a silhouette like this were his eyeballs. So I waited to do that towards the end of the project. I wasn't successful first time around, but that's okay. Because like I mentioned earlier, the best eraser for paint is more paint. So yeah, when I did his eyeballs, I did have to go back over it with white paint and continue to put more layers on top of the area where his eyes were to erase it. So it's okay if you make mistakes during a project and mess up and have to do this. You just gotta keep on trucking, because sometimes when you keep on trucking, the end result comes out cool. Sometimes it doesn't, but at least you tried. And look at that! This silhouette alone, I was pretty happy with, and I was gonna do a silhouette painting anyway, but then I saw this glow-in-the-dark paint and was like, you know what would be cooler than a silhouette? A silhouette that glows in the dark. So I suppose now is the time for the product review of the DECOART glow-in-the-dark paint. My first impression of it was that this paint was super weird. The texture of it was not like paint. It wasn't even like a thicker paint. It was almost like glue. It was super gooey and clumpy, and I don't really know how to explain it, except it reminded me of Elmer's glue, kind of. Which, by the way, I was expecting the texture of this paint to be a little weird because it's glow-in-the-dark paint. I wasn't expecting it to be like paint, but it kind of threw me off how clumpy it was because it made it really difficult to get a nice smooth coat over the white. But I also was putting a lot, so maybe that was my problem. But I don't think it was, because you'll see what happens next. So I turned off the lights, and it is glowing. So I guess it's doing what it was saying, but the coverage of it wasn't very good. It needs more coats, and it needed more paint in certain areas. So I'm not entirely sure what happened here. Another thing that was strange is that when I needed more of the glow-in-the-dark paint and I poured it in, you can see that it's translucent now and it's glowing. When I put new paint into the little palette, it was no longer glowing, which I don't know how that works. I know that sometimes with glow-in-the-dark stuff, if you hold it under light and then turn the lights off, it'll help it glow more. But after a while, it kind of started to not glow as much. So I don't really know what to think of this paint. I think that this DecoArt glow-in-the-dark paint, I don't know. I can't say it's good, I can't say it's bad. I think I'm gonna say it needs to be explored more. It is glowing, so it's doing what it said it was gonna do, but the coverage was awful, and it didn't stay glowing for long. Like, today, doesn't glow anymore. So, needs to be explored more. That's gonna be my final answer, people. Alright, that is it for today's video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and leave in the comments down below what you thought of my half glow-in-the-dark silhouette painting. I didn't think the glow-in-the-dark paint was that bad. Like I said, I think it needs further research, okay? It might have needed a couple more layers, but then at the same time, it wasn't staying glowy. Like a glow stick stays lit almost all night long, but the glow-in-the-dark paint was like fading away as I was still painting it. So I don't know if it's something I did, or I don't know. I think I need to do more research to actually give a good recommendation for the DecoArt glow-in-the-dark paint. But I'll see you guys back here next time. Peace.